Hello and welcome back, and today I want to talk about Boxafe from QNAP. That is Boxafe, so not Boxsafe, it's Boxafe. I know, very confusing, and it does make searching for it very, very tough, but you found this video, so let me tell you a little bit about it. Yesterday I was at the QNAP Tech Day 2020 in London, and we were going through all of the big things that they've got in store for 2020 with their NAS platforms for both home, medium and big business. Now, Boxafe is aimed at you users, and particularly you enterprise users that use Windows and Google services, namely if you're using GSuite or if you're using Office 365. These platforms, which although I am a big fan of NAS, are ones that I personally use, and I'm sure a lot of you use them too. Maybe you're using a Gmail, maybe you're using Google Docs, Google Calendar, maybe you're using Microsoft Space or some Microsoft email accounts, or you're using different accounting services or any of the myriad of different platforms they offer. And if you are using G Suite or Office 365, chances are you're using all of these platforms on the cloud. Now, the idea of integrating NAS and those cloud services isn't new. You've had different means of synchronization for a long amount of time, along with improved services of mounting cloud storage too, as well as making your NAS appear accessible to the cloud as well, and vice versa. But where Boxafe comes in is the ability to back up those services and access them from a NAS. Now, on the offset, a lot of you might be wondering what's the point? Because if all of these services are on the cloud, then they're not really going to be lost, are they? I mean, when it comes to things like having versions and deleting and stuff like that, the cloud largely has that covered. And if you are paying for an enterprise level package from Google or Microsoft, and that of course means Office 365 in a more advanced state or G Suite, then chances are you already are running all of those different platforms and contacts and communication there on the cloud, which if you're not backing them up to a NAS, are already kind of safe, because how easy is it to actually just take down Google or Microsoft's many backed up servers? And the answer is almost impossible, really. But this isn't really about straight point-to-point loss. There are actually a number of different ways in which the data on both G Suite and Office 365 isn't quite as safe or as redundant as you think. And it's one of some interesting ways in which having that data available on a NAS would be very, very beneficial. So, for example, if you do delete an email from your Gmail, don't get me wrong, you can retrieve it, but only for about 30 days. If you delete your emails or if you delete an account, again, that data is only really accessible for about a month and in a recoverable form on the cloud servers. Don't get me wrong, they have their equivalent of snapshots, but those snapshots, once again, if you delete data, you rebuild on the deletion of data, and therefore recovering that from a cloud service, again, you only have about 30 days to do that. Whereas if you've got it backed up onto a NAS, it's there long term. On top of that, if you do want to remove certain aspects of an account, say you've got multiple staff or you've got temporary staff in your organisation and you've given them space and emails and stuff like that, chances are when that employee leaves, you still want access to that data. And once again, some accounts, when they're not accessed or used for a great length of time, can go into suspension and then eventual deletion. And the same thing goes for the deletion of that data. Now, if you've kept a member of staff for a number of years and you've lost them, or they've left, or you fired them, or whatever, and they're gone, although you're not going to be using that account, you want to maintain that data and keep it on the cloud. The more data you have, the more you have to spend to maintain it. So having that data backed up in its G Suite or Office 365 form is very, very useful. And having it on a NAS backed up in this way with Boxafe can be very, very, very appealing. And a one-off purchase of a QNAP NAS will take care of that. Now, once you've got that data backed up via Boxafe on the NAS, this is where things can get interesting, because it's more than just a backup of the data. It maintains the data in a form that you are used to, and by that I mean via Boxafe you can access individual accounts and individual emails, individual contacts, and that information in a readable, accessible and native form via Boxafe's own user interface for you to access those accounts. And once again, that stands for deleted data, and that's when you can include things like snapshots too. And all of that data being backed up onto the NAS thanks to services that QNAP are rolling out that were revealed at Tech Day with compression and deduplication, means that all of that data will take up less space in this backed up form than it will on that cloud in its native expressed form. And again, with a better retention of data over time with or without access than those cloud services in the long run, you can see why this is quite an appealing thing. Now, with OneDrive, data is retained for longer. I believe data, according to this, is retained. Individual items are retained for 93 days, which is a weirdly specific number. They still have the deletion 30-day recovery policy, but when it comes to things like contacts and information with regards to individual users in a communication form, that data is not kept for anywhere near as long. And thanks to the Boxafe integration and synchronization, it means that even if you updated your contact information and then deleted it or updated that information on Office 365 or GSuite, the original versions and pre-deletion versions are still going to be kept on the Boxafe user interface. So the target user for this kind of service at this time is only it's quite small. Although don't get me wrong, many businesses have incorporated Google Suite and Office 365 because of the client-side applications that can be installed as well as the cloud access. But cloud will always be a very short-term resolution compared with NAS. That's not just my opinion, but that's pretty much data storage in general. Now, if you want to take advantage of Boxafe at the moment, they are running beta test programs, and with those beta test programs, you can get free equipment and free licenses as well. Now, if you check out QNAP's own website, they've got lots of information about that, but it's also worth mentioning that a question was asked at Tech Day about the expanse at which Boxafe are going to support different collaboration tools online. Are they going to be working with lesser known Linux-based content management systems and communication systems, not just the big two? And they say they are going to see how the test run goes during the beta phase before they start including other services. But I'm going to wrap things up here because I've got loads of things to talk about from Tech Day, and this is one mainly for you corporate users out there. If you've got any questions about this or want to learn more, go into the description. There will be a link to loads of information about Boxafe, what it can do, what it can't do, and whether it's useful to you. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this and want to learn more, and I'll see you next time.